From coffee to shampoo to hand sanitizer, First Stop Shop is your one-stop. Conveniently located at the nearest Delta Petroleum gas station.
Delta Petroleum, serving the Caribbean.
We are now halfway in the month of April. It is Monday, April 15th. I welcome you to THG News Today with Mervyn Henley. Good morning to you and yours. It's good to be back with you today. Last week, the Flu and we had a fight. I tried to tough it out by being here for you and with you. But on Friday, the Flu said, no, not you today. Not you today. So I had to call on JD Keynes to sit in for me. And as usual, she did an excellent job. So thank you, JD, for holding down the fort on Friday. I know that I can call on you. And so I know I will be calling on you pretty soon. Not for being ill this time, but yes, thank you once again. We have some stories to cover this morning, but before I get into this, let's turn first to our Spotlight feature. And today I want to remind you just once more to try the Santal plant-based milk at Best Buy supermarkets, in St. Kitts, on Nevis, on Anguilla, Duggins Enterprises in Center Statius, and the Cospro in St. Maarten and Antigua. They come in almond, coconut, oat, and soy. So check out the Santal plant-based milk there at the Best Buy supermarkets, Duggins Enterprises, and Cospro. Yeah. And also in Spotlight this morning in Anguilla, there is Jun Car Rental, one of the largest car rental companies on the island. Pretty efficient, affordable rates. They'll pick you up at Port Blowing Point or at the airport, and they will definitely take care of you. Talk about professional service. Talk about efficient service. Talk about customer service. They're just great. They're at Jun Car Rental. So call or WhatsApp them today at 1-264-235-6114. That's 1-264-235-6114. And that's our Spotlighters for this morning. If your business would like to be part of Spotlight, contact us today via WhatsApp at 1-869-667-7443. That's 1-869-667-7443. It's just $150, and we will get the information out there to the people over a period of time. And we're about to begin the news. But please, if you have not already, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you don't miss a beat on here, especially when you hit that notification option. Okay? Good. Now, let's get to the news. Out of St. Maarten, there was a fatal shooting in front of a nightclub in Simpson Bay. This was in the early hours of Sunday. Tragedy struck as a fatal shooting unfolded in front of a nightclub on Simpson Bay, St. Maarten. Authorities are on high alert following the incident, which claimed one life and left 3 others injured. Initial reports indicate that 2 of the injured individuals have been transported on the French side to Concordia at the hospital there, while the third is receiving treatment at the St. Maarten Medical Center, according to the Daily Herald. The St. Maarten police force swiftly responded to the scene following the distress call around 4 a.m. on Sunday. Detectives are now intensifying efforts to piece together the events leading up to the shooting. As the investigation progresses, updates will be provided to the public. The tragic incident on Sunday marks the second fatal shooting in front of the said club in just 5 months. On November the 11th, 2023, almost around 4 a.m., the police received calls regarding a shooting near the club. Upon arrival, officers discovered a male victim on the side of the road next to a vehicle who had sustained multiple gunshot wounds and showed no signs of life. Subsequently, at approximately 9:30 a.m., a male individual presented himself at the police station claiming involvement in the earlier shooting on Welfare Road. The individual was immediately arrested. So I guess an investigation is ongoing. I understand that 3 persons sustained injuries or whatever the case may be, and one, of course, a young gentleman. He succumbed to his injuries. That's not a usual thing for St. Maarten. We don't hear of much murders on the island. We'll hear, yes, there are a lot of burglaries and all of that, but when it comes to murder, you don't really get a lot of that on the island. So when it happens, it really sends a shock throughout the community. So I think the government and the police, they have been doing a pretty good job in terms of curbing crime and in terms of putting policies and stuff in place when it comes to, I guess, murders. But of course, some will fall through the cracks. And it must be mentioned that this did not happen inside of the nightclub, because Lotus nightclub, they're very strict when it comes to the admission and when it comes to security. So this was something that I guess they took outside, and it happened just in the vicinity. So anyone who can help assist the police with their investigations, please do so. In Antigua and Barbuda, Prime Minister the Honorable Gaston Browne criticized Inter Caribbean for frequent technical issues causing safety concerns among travelers, according to Antigua Newsroom. Flight 713 on Friday to Barbados faced a technical problem after takeoff from Dominica, circling before safely returning. Browne emphasized the need for better maintenance, citing a previous engine failure incident in Antigua. He expressed relief that no harm occurred, but voiced worry over the rising frequency of such incidents, urging the airline to improve safety standards. Inter Caribbean confirmed the precautionary engine shutdown in Dominica, ensuring passengers' safety and arranging another flight for their convenience. Emergency procedures were followed and the services were on standby. Browne's remarks highlight the importance of addressing these issues to restore confidence in the airline's safety measures. I join this morning with Prime Minister Gaston Browne and calling on Inter Caribbean Airlines to get your act together. I'm not going to roll around it. Get your act together. You are not going to sweep this under the rug like it's not a big problem. It is a problem, and it's a big problem. This is the second time in a matter of weeks, so this is getting a bit uncomfortable and nerve-wracking for some travelers. A matter of fact, perhaps what the Inter Caribbean airline needs to do, you guys probably need to ground your aircraft for at least a week or two to get all of them properly checked, properly maintained, and exercise some proper maintenance to them. That's what they do when issues arise. For example, United Airlines, Delta, JetBlue, American Airlines. So maybe that's what Inter Caribbean Airlines, maybe that's what they need to do. And maybe, or just maybe, we just need LIAT, right? Because this cannot be it. And I need to hear more Caribbean leaders. I need you to join Prime Minister Browne in calling out Inter Caribbean, because these are your people. These are your Caribbean nationals on these flights every day, several times a day. I know some of you have your interest in the airline, so you don't want to make them look bad and you don't want to step on toes and all of that. But lives matter more, not selfishness and not self-interest. Lives matter more, because you may be on one of those flights heading to a CARICOM meeting. So just remember that. Get on Inter Caribbean, make a statement, and ensure there's proper safety for your citizens. Now we move to the British Virgin Islands, and this is from BVI News with BVI's Premier to his critics. Watch God work through me. Amen, brother. Amen. Despite increasing complaints and criticisms from opposition members and critics of his government, Premier Dr. Natalia Wheatley has insisted that the BVI's economy is doing well and heading into the right direction. Watch me. In fact, the slogan right now is not watch me work, baby. The slogan is watch God work through me. The Premier said while referencing a previous statement he made in the House of Assembly. Premier Wheatley said he is not one to paint a rosy picture of everything taking place for his political benefit or ignore the challenges that residents are facing. It's a hard time in the BVI, but guess what? It's a hard time in many places in the world, the Premier argued. Let's not act like the BVI is the only place going through hard times, and we're painting this kind of flowery, rosy picture of other places. Now, Mr. Premier, you were going good. I like that God is working through you and all of that. But with due respect, the people are not interested in what's happening in other countries. They are only interested in what is happening in their country. And in this case, it is the British Virgin Islands. So when they complain or when the opposition is complaining, do not say, well, this is happening elsewhere. Other places are facing a hard time. That may be so, but they are not living in those places. Their country is the British Virgin Islands. Their country, their island, their territory, Tortola, Anegada, Just Van Dyke, Virgin Gorda. And they have to deal with the day-to-day issues. So I find it sometimes a bit insulting when leaders say, well, this is happening elsewhere. It's hard elsewhere. They did not elect leaders from elsewhere. They elect you. Yeah? Okay. Let's continue. The Premier argued that while he appreciated the opposition's role, they maximized the challenges and minimized the successes of his government and urged people listening to them to do so with a grain of salt. Mr. Premier, okay, fine, the opposition may be maximizing the challenges and minimizing the successes, as you say, but it is not the opposition's job to maximize the successes. Yes, they should talk about the successes, but that is what your government, your PR, your communications team, your cabinet, you are the ones out there supposed to be spreading the message of the good of the BVI, what is happening in the BVI, and maximizing the successes. And the opposition's job, some may argue, is to oppose. So, just putting that out there. So he chided fellow lawmakers for not wanting to hear good news about developments in the financial services and tourism sectors and pointed to developments at Nanny Key and the West End Ferry Terminal project as further evidence of progress in the territory. He also highlighted the much-anticipated Prospect Reef redevelopment project, where he promised a groundbreaking ceremony would soon be happening. Premier Wheatley told lawmakers that the territory received almost 500,000 visitors in the first quarter of this year and described this as commendable. You go up and down some of the places that your opposition claims doing so much better than us, and really, just take a look and see what the numbers are in comparison, the Premier stated. And finally, in our news this morning, the Jamaica Court of Appeal has scheduled a hearing for June 10th to decide if dancehall star Vybz Kartel and the 3 others should be released or face a retrial for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. In a notice issued on Friday, Justice Martha McDonald Bishop set deadlines for submissions of legal arguments May 6 for Cartel, whose real name is Adisha Palmer, and his accused Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre Massus St. John, and May 31st for the prosecution. The hearing is anticipated to last 5 days. In March, the UK-based Privy Council overturned the murder convictions of the 4 men and ordered that the Court of Appeal should determine whether there should be a new trial. The UK court cited serious jury management issues for its decision, particularly the continuation of the trial with a tainted juror, which compromised the fairness of the trial. Cartel and his co-accused, who have served over 12 years in prison, have consistently denied involvement in Williams' death. In a statement last month, Cartel, who received the harshest sentence, expressed confidence that the Court of Appeal, which previously upheld his conviction, would now do the right thing. He said, "I am also very confident that the Court of Appeal in Jamaica will do the right thing in the name of equity, fairness, and justice, and free us," Cartel said. Some people have expressed their concern to me that a retrial may be ordered, but to them I say, albeit with my limited knowledge of the law, what is there to retry, he added. He continued by saying, with that being said, the most important point to me is that I am an innocent man. So in reality, I'm not in the least bit worried, as I know I will be acquitted and go home to my family, whom I have not been together with for over 10 years. So we'll see how that goes in June as far as the retrial or non-retrial of Vybz Kartel and his friends. Yeah? Ladies and gentlemen, I've just presented you today THG News Today, Monday, April 15th. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, God's willing, at 6 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time for a similar presentation. Today's news is sponsored by Carl & Sons on St. Maarten with 2 locations on the island. That's on the Ponfill and in Cold Bay, Delta Petroleum, and Thesis on Nevis. God bless you.
Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Maarten for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are 2 locations, Cold Bay and on the Ponfill. In Cold Bay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Ponfill, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colby location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. Nevis, satisfy your sweet tooth at Feezer's, the cozy spot in Charlestown, known for its mouth-watering ice cream and dal parade. We are open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in and sample our patties, sandwiches, air-fried wings with fries, hot dogs, rotis, and now our famous smoothies, in all flavors of course. And don't forget to try the famous bus-up shut and saltfish. It's Feezer's, located at the entrance to the Cotton Gillery Mall in Charlestown, Nevis. They're also available by phone, so place your order by calling 1-869-665-2458. Don't ask about the rest, just try the best.